It's become a war of words here. Who backtracked? Who misrepresented? This really doesn't bode well for these trade negotiations.
That's right. The U.S. doubling down and saying that a recently released Chinese white paper on the trade negotiations seeks to misrepresent facts. The U.S. says that China is engaged in a blame game, and the statement really doubles down on what the U.S. says is China being the impetus for these negotiations, a history of unfair trade practices, the statement says on a couple times, that is really the reason for why we are here. It doesn't bode well for meeting at the table anytime soon. As you know, there's no talks scheduled currently. That being said, the two leaders, President Xi Jinping and Donald Trump, are set to both be at the G20 in Osaka later this month. So while the rhetoric might be hot right now, there's still a chance that the leaders could meet face to face and come to some accord. Though for the meantime, both sides do appear to be doubling down.
Okay, well, let's turn to the Mexican front then. Mexican officials are going to be beginning talks in Washington, trying to avert Trump's proposed tariffs there. So what's their argument going to be, and how likely are they to find a friendly ear?
That's correct. Mexican officials are currently in Washington meeting with U.S. officials as they seek to avert President Trump's threat of a 5% tariff on Mexican goods on June 10th. Now, Mexican officials said that they are prepared to retaliate. They said that they wouldn't necessarily do a broad tariff, but potentially act more strategically or work through international institutions. They're also trying to make the argument to U.S. officials, to the Trump administration, that tariffs could backfire, that they're saying we're doing a lot to turn back migrants at the Mexican southern border, and that these tariffs could actually undermine our efforts to keep migrants from coming to your border, and you could see more migrants reaching the U.S. border with these tariffs. So they're really trying to play up the cooperation that already exists between the U.S. and Mexico. And of course, hanging over all of this is the passage of USMCA. So it'll be interesting to watch what happens there.
And the president being a little bit more conciliatory towards the UK, hinting at a potential big trade offer if the UK breaks free from the European Union. What's that about?
And that's right. President Trump, before arriving in the UK today, saying that the UK should shake their shackles of the EU and join the US in a big trade deal. Now, we know that both sides, there's been calls on both sides of the Atlantic for people to embrace Brexit and look for the possibility for a bilateral trade deal. Here, the president signaling once again that he's very interested in a bilateral trade deal, but that Brexit needs to quicken its pace, according to his tweet there. Now, of course, what could actually be accomplished in this visit, besides for the pomp and circumstance of the official state visit and the banquet with the Queen, remains to be seen, given that May is expected to leave her post soon. So whether any actual progress on a trade deal could be made, that might be left to whoever succeeds May.